Hey everybody in my Comp 1 online. This is Dr. Stephanie Bundy. I'm in my office right now, and I wanted to take a moment to kind of lecture a little bit about what your first paper is. Of course, I have a lot of documentation on Blackboard for you in case you're wondering, what do I do? When is this due? Whatever. And that's all fine and good, but sometimes people just really want to hear from the professor themselves. So this is for Unit 1 for your first paper assignments, the um, personal narrative paper. Okay, so for the personal narrative paper, you're going to be telling me basically the gist of one moment that has changed you into who you are today. Obviously, because I'm asking for your personal experience, you can use first person, but you're going to avoid overusing first person, having everything say I think. In fact, we're going to do away with I think because of it. Eventually, you won't need I think. If I were to say I think abortion should be legal, then wouldn't it be better just to write that out as abortion should be legal because it's on the page? I know it's what you're thinking. Okay, so the handout section of Unit 1 gives you the paper guidelines as well as an outline and gives you an example paper from a previous student who has given me permission to reproduce that. Now, keep in mind, it is a previous student, so there are some problems with it, and not all problems are put on there in my pen so that you can see it. So it's not perfect. As with most composition papers, it takes a little time and effort to get it, just exactly the way you want it to be done. But inevitably, what I'm looking for is a well-structured MLA essay. What MLA is, stands for Modern Language Association. It has a specific rule guidelines for what constitutes the format of a paper. For instance, that all fonts, all the font that you use is Times New Roman 12-point font. So none of that Calibri 11-point stuff. It needs to all be Times New Roman 12-point because that is what MLA dictates. Also, you're going to have margins set as 1 inch on all sides. You have titles centered but not underlined, italicized, put in bold, changed, put hearts around, whatever. It's the regular Times New Roman font as everything else. And you have a header and you have a heading. The header is on the top right-hand corner, and the heading is on the top left of the first page only. The header repeats every single page with your last name and a formatted page number that changes in sequence of the paper. So I don't mind if you go over the page requirements, but I do mind if you go under those page requirements. So you definitely need to consider that while you're writing this. Also consider in your outline, as you're creating your outline, to the evidence portion of each body paragraph. I would really like to see that you use adjectives and verbs, specifically the kinds of adjectives that will give me a visible image or sensual kind of, I'll be able to sense your memories of that moment that has changed you into who you are today, and I'll be able to live that moment with you. But without those adjectives, I can't. Okay? The same with verbs. Most people will just use the stock verbs, and that's not good. So you want to be more descriptive in your verb choice, something like the difference between crying and weeping. Weeping is much more descriptive. It deals with your entire body versus crying, which is the act of water falling out of your eyeball. And then there's, crying, weeping, bawling, where you end up having guttural moans and just beside yourself, right? So think about all of that as we go through, and then of course you have the grammar quizzes that I hope that you are doing, and make sure that you have hit every single category in that website that I have provided you prior to the grammar quiz going live. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I will be around. Thanks.